The Warsaw Uprising is a subject that we're going to come back to again and again on the Heart of Poland show because, of course, Warsaw is Poland's capital city. It is its heart, and the horror that happened here in this city is really quite extraordinary. I've come to the Warsaw Rising Museum to meet the incredible team at the Iconography and Photography department who are in charge of looking after the extraordinary numbers of photos and images that came out from that conflict. And I'm going here to meet Joanna Lang. Hi Joanna.
Hi Patrick.
It's lovely to see you again in this slightly chilly room where you house this amazing collection. First of all, you told me something when we first met which really surprised me, which is that the Warsaw Uprising is the most documented kind of conflict or battle of the Second World War. Is that right?
Especially in Polish history, yeah.
Okay, so from Polish, is it
and
phenomenal?
Also it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal.
So how many pictures do we have in this archive?
Generally we have 50,000 pictures, but from the uprising 20,000.
20,000
20,000 original pictures.
Because I sometimes have this feeling these pictures repeat a lot. I see them on the internet a lot, but what you're saying is there's
the
a lot more.
Original pictures it's 20,000.
Wow, I mean I am absolutely blown away, and I can see that you've already got some examples for me.
So because there was photo reporters, they were very good. They was prepared to make this documentation, and they did, and they did some photos during uprising, and we have here original photo, and they were even published in its bulletin informacyjne. During uprising, during these 2 months, they managed to publish photos and write and print newspapers.
This is one. I can't see the date on this.
Yes, it's about
Battle for the Pasta building.
For the Pasta building.
Yeah. So in fact, I think hopefully
the winner here is the Germans, which were
so this was the
prisoners.
Building held out for a long time, but eventually the Kiliński battalion was able to.
After 20 of July, and here we have photo, and here we have the same photo, which is original, taken by Joachimczyk.
Can I have a look at this?
Please. And it's original print.
Good Lord. So this photo has survived all this time from the uprising.
Yes, and it's our job. And we start from nothing, now we have so much, but we tried to collect the full picture of uprising. So every district, every moment, and then we realized that we also need more background. So we need also photo of Warsaw, of occupied Warsaw, of beautiful Warsaw before war, and also ruins of the city.
So where do all these photos come from? You've got, I mean, there must be hundreds of negatives here.
This is our first and main collection, negatives of Lokajski, Edmund Lokajski.
Quite famous, I think, Lokajski is.
Very famous
very
one.
Famous photo, yeah.
But he died in September 1944. So we have negatives. We obtained it from his sister, these negatives. And they are all well digitalized and used in our exhibition and in albums we prepared. And
so I'm assuming, when people send photos to you, what it means is that they've got guaranteed safety. These images will be preserved forever and digitalized and stored.
Yes, it's our goal.
That's why it's so cold in here.
Yes, yes.
Okay, and what else have you got here to show us from your enormous
It's
collection?
another very famous photo reporter.
I mean,
Sylvester Chris Brown.
Possibly the most iconic photo of the Warsaw Uprising.
Yes.
This is the Prudential building being hit by an enormous artillery shell. This is the original?
This is original, and it's even copyrighted by Sylvester Brown.
So he actually published this after the war?
Just after the war. Just after the war. But as well, the original negatives also survive, and this prints, and he's one of the best.
So, I mean, presumably as this is your day job, but it must be that sometimes we get a new collection, you don't know what's coming. The emotions must be extraordinary.
Yeah, and what's it's still ongoing. It's not finished, and every year we obtain new collection, new photo, And some years ago, we also started buying photo on eBay, German's photo, and now we have quite big collection of German's photo. Because during occupation, Polish people cannot make pictures. So if we would like to show Warsaw during occupation, we need this German's photo.
Okay, have you got an example? There's something in German over here.
It's good example. We bought it last year. And also it's interesting because it's the...
Good Lord. So this is not post-war. This is a photo album, a Nazi German photo album.
Yes, they have such approach. They documented his war life.
Yeah, war service. Yeah.
And war service, and we can see here.
So that's Krieg. I see as war. Polish Felden, I think, which do you mind if I say?
No, it's
Poland Felden. So
yes.
he was in Poland in 1939.
Yes, but he was also in Paris, because we can see here Eiffel Tower, and then we have some photo from Warsaw. But it's something that we can also see the true face of war. Some victims, some so it's.
Prisoners, I think.
Prisoners of war, and it's also our goal to preserve this picture of war, not only uprising. So we have also such albums.
And so where's the uprising pictures in this?
It's not uprising; it's Warsaw.
Warsaw.
It's in the end of this album, we can see pictures from Pałac Saski.
So I suppose each of these photos is still helping you, and it's like a detective process, really, because you can use the pre-war, during the uprising, and the post-war to work out, okay, this is what happened.
Yes, and it's very useful also to make this documentation of the city of Warsaw.
Which, of course, now doesn't exist as it did.
Yeah, it's the
in these photos.
Main station of Warsaw. It's church, St. Anna Church.
Yes,
on Krakowskie Przedmieście.
Yes. Recognizable immediately.
Yes.
And there's bomb damage here, presumably from the September campaign where Warsaw was really heavily bombed.
Yeah. So it's also helpful, but the main goal is to have this photo reporters from the home army soldiers and to obtain their photos.
So you said you get more and more each year. How many come in each year? And if somebody had an album by chance, maybe someone in the US or New Zealand or Australia, where many uprising soldiers went and moved, what should they do with that? I presume come to you guys.
But mainly it's in Poland. Okay. It's the family which also I had this pleasure working here 15 years that I met some of them. Yes, and it was always a very touching experience, and it's the best when you have authors. You can speak with them. They can describe his approach to making photo and to the subject. And
presumably it's emotional for them as they give them over, because it's their life's work, some of the most important photos they've ever taken.
I can tell 1,000 stories how it was, because it's sometimes it's very. Also, it's because they keep this photo so long time. They waited. I can say that a lot of them was waiting for us for the Warsaw Uprising Museum to have a good place to collect this photo.
So Janna, where can I see these photos? Because you've got this enormous collection here. Are some of them at least available?
We have all of them digitalized and in our database, but more than 8,000 it's online on our website in Phototech.
Phototech. So I just search. What do I have to search to find it?
You have to search Warsaw Uprising Museum website, and then collection, and then you can find this photo.
And I remember this amazing occasion when we first met, when I first came to see you guys working, when we just typed into your internal system, so you've got also the photos, and I said, hey, why don't we just look for my wife's grandfather, Zygmunt Andrzejewski.
I remember, yeah.
You remember? And,
yeah,
and I knew he'd served in the uprising, but I'd never seen a picture, and I knew his family had no pictures from that time. And we cycled through, there are many Zygmunt Andrzejewskis, and then all of a sudden I said, and I remember it was an incredible moment, I said, that's him. I looked at his face and I saw my wife's face a little bit. And there they were, and indeed there with the description is the name of all these soldiers,
Yes.
And the photo after 74
Yes,
years.
yes. It's very tedious work, but very. It's a big satisfaction in the end, like this situation that you can find someone and the place and this.
Do those photos stay with you sometimes when you go back from work? You think about those faces and what they went through, or have you just now after 15 years? It's like a day job.
No, it's not like this. And also we have a lot of very interesting projects. It's about every year we cooperate with about 100 exhibition books publishing. We prepare our albums, we prepare our exhibition, we cooperate with films and film producer.
Which I don't think we can talk about an exciting projects coming up.
No,
maybe
no,
in the future. We're not going to talk about that. Okay, well, thank you very much for taking me through this fascinating journey, and obviously I highly recommend that you go and check out the museum's website as well, and the name of that was the Photocon.
Fototeca.
Fototeca. I seem to have a problem with that word, and maybe you will come across a photo of a family member that you didn't even know existed on that incredible resource. Well, Joanna, it's been fascinating learning about how this looks from your perspective, but in next week's episode, I'm going to talk to another couple of members of the team about the extraordinary work they do to uncover and recover photos that are submitted to this team. So I highly recommend that you tune in for that episode, and I highly recommend that you check out the other fascinating interviews, discussions and films we've done about the fascinating country of Poland on the First News channel. So I'll see you again for another episode of Heart of Poland.